What's up guys, in today's video we're doing another reasons why you want to pick up an old camera from way back when, and the camera in today's video is going to be this, the Canon 650D. How I love a DSLR. Now I've got a specific reason why I picked this camera up, but before I get into that I want to share with you some features of this camera. Yeah, some reasons why you might want to pick one up in 2023. So the Canon 650D was first released back in 2012, and it was an entry-level camera built for photographers and some people who like to dabble in video. So this camera has an 18 megapixel APS-C sensor. It has a Digic 5 processor. In the camera body, it shoots up to 5 frames per second. It can shoot AFC in video mode. AFC test with the Canon 650D. Ooh, pulses, it's not smooth, is it? Coffee cup. If I was to stand here and just do a little bit of talking to the camera. So yeah, actually, the menu system is pretty nice on the Canon 50D. So if you're coming from like a Sony, which with the recent cameras, they've sorted out the user interface. But the older cameras, their menu systems were just absolutely terrible. But Canon have really good menu systems and user-friendly UI. So navigating on the camera is just not a difficult thing to do at all. Also, it's all very touchscreen. The LCD articulating screen is fully touchscreen, which is perfect. Saves you pressing all the buttons and getting inside the camera. You just hit the Q button and you can get in on all your settings, white balance. So if AFC in video is quite important to you because you're thinking about starting your own YouTube video and you're a solo shooter, you might want to consider getting the 70D, which is the next one up from this. It's a better camera in a lot of ways, depending on what you want it for, but definitely the focusing in the Canon 7D is far better than the 650Ds. It has a 3:2 aspect ratio size sensor, and it takes EF and EFS lenses. It also shoots HD up to 30 frames per second and HD at 720p up to 60 frames per second. And this camera, if you're going to pick one up today, on the used market, this camera goes from anything from £130 up to say £180, and you can get some really nice deals. Some even include lenses and certain accessories for the camera. Now, I recently bought a Canon 70D, before that a Canon 70, and reasons being is because I just like the DSLR look and feel. These cameras have a really nice feel to them. They feel really well built. Even though this is not weather sealed, it actually feels and looks as though it could handle a little bit of rain, a little bit of downpouring. Really nice grip, ergonomically. Yeah, these are built to kind of carry around all day. I've got a grip on mine, so it does feel a little bit heavier than what it normally would, but the weight is about 570 grams, I believe. I'll put that up here somewhere. But nevertheless, I just love the old school DSLRs, the mechanical shutters, the build quality. And with Canon, I really love the image quality. And this does shoot amazing stills. And this also shoots HD video, like I just said, 1080p up to 30 frames per second. And the video quality is quite nice. You got that lovely color science from Canon. And although it's not the sharpest and the most robust video codec, the H.264 codec that's in this camera, but it is nice for kind of just general videoing. Now, the reason why I bought this camera was because, talking about the video specs, is you can hack this with the latest crop mode Magic Lantern hack, and you can get some impressive quality video from this camera, shooting up to 5K. Now, I've been dabbling with this camera a little bit and shooting a little bit of crop mode with it, and I'm quite pleased with the overall results you're going to get from this camera. I put a battery pack on this because it does drain the battery quite significantly, and it's good to have, I mean, these accessories for these cameras as well. Another benefit of getting this camera is the accessories are quite affordable. So the battery pack wasn't that much at all, about 30 odd quid. I do have a Canon 70D, but the Digic 6 processor in the Canon 70D is too old to run the crop mode Magic Lantern hack, although you can run the older Magic Lantern hacks, which will work on the Canon 70D, but they're not as stable and not as good as these most recent crop mode Magic Lantern hacks are. And you can only get the crop mode Magic Lantern hacks on some of the cameras with the Digic 5 processors. And I believe it's the 650D, the 700D, the Canon EOS M, and the Canon 1100D. If I'm wrong, I'll put it up here saying the right ones, but nevertheless. Anyway, so there's only a few cameras you can get the crop mode on, and the 650D sat nice in that kind of budget-friendly kind of area. I've got all the Canon lenses, so I didn't have to invest in lenses to pick up this camera. And for about 140 quid, I think I picked it up for, it's relatively affordable. And if I don't want to use it anymore and I want to get rid of it, I'm probably going to get roughly that amount back. So I'm not really going to lose much in terms of money if I decide to sell this on. Now you'll notice this camera body isn't pro. You could tell because like the back dial, there's no dial there. There's no joystick like you find on some of the more pro bodies. You do have a side slot there for your SD card, and the SD card I use for this camera, because I'm shooting crop mode, is the SanDisk 256 gig SD card, which is a really tasty SD card. It's gonna focus. Much prefer it in the side of the camera rather than the bloody battery pack, battery compartment, which is just a pain in the ass to get the SD card in and out if you're obviously on a tripod or you got this caged up. But without the hack, video quality looks nice. Images are great, really nice stills camera. And one thing you can take away from the old Canon cameras, it's the ability to shoot really lovely stills, and 80 megapixels, that's no slouch for photography. So if you're in the market for a budget-friendly, really solid performer for stills, shoots lovely video, then the Canon 650D is definitely a camera to consider. Also, if you're a budding filmmaker on a tight budget and you want to experiment with hacking these kind of cameras to get much better resolutions and video quality, then again, this is a budget-friendly option for you too. Little side note here, this is actually, if you've seen on the side here, it's a Rebel T4i. So this is the American release of the Canon 650D. But don't fret it if you do pick one up in the UK. You can easily switch these cameras from NTSC to PAL. It's no bother at all. And that's what I've done with mine. So this is a PAL shooting camera now with just one switch on the menu system on the camera. And I think this was a little bit cheaper because it is a T4i. So that might be a bit of good advice there for smart shopping when buying one of these. Look for the T4i, a bit cheaper than the 650D, but just switch it to PAL when you get it. Happy days. So guys, that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you picked up the 650D or T4i recently for the crop mode hack. How's that going for you? Are you a fan of all DSLRs? Do you prefer the Nikon DSLRs? How many Canon cameras do you have DSLR-wise? Do you also like to mix up your cameras like I do with the Lumix, the Canons and whatnot? So yeah, please hit me up in the comment section down below. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and goodbye.